Someone pulling up the intro. Good evening. The City of Boston Zoning Board Repeal hearing for July 25th, 2024 is now in session. This hearing is being conducted in accordance with the applicable provisions of the open meeting law, including the updated provisions enacted by the legislature last year. The new law allows the board to continue its practice of holding virtual hearings until March 2025. The hearing of the board is being held remotely via the Zoom webinar event platform. This hearing is also being recorded. In order to ensure this hearing of the board is open to the public, members of the public may access this hearing through telephone and video conferencing. The information for connecting to this hearing is listed on today's hearing agenda, which is posted on the public notices page of the city's website, boston.gov. Members of the public will enter the virtual hearing as attendees, which means you will not see yourself on the screen and you will be muted throughout unless administratively unmuted when asked to comment. Board members, applicants, and their attorneys or representatives will participate in the hearing as panelists, and they will appear alongside the presentation materials when speaking. Panelists are strongly encouraged to keep video on while presenting to the board. Can you advance? As with our in-person meetings, comments in support will be followed by comments in opposition. The order of comments is as follows: elected officials, representatives of elected officials, and members of the public. The chair may limit the number of people called upon to offer comment and the time for commenting as time constraints require. For that reason, the board prefers to hear from members of the public who are most impacted by a project, that is, those individuals who live closest to the project. If you wish to comment on an appeal, please click the raise hand button along the bottom of your screen in the Zoom webinar platform. Click it again and your hand should go down. When the host sees your hand, you will receive a request to unmute yourself. Select yes, and you should be able to talk. If you are connected to the hearing by telephone, please press *9 to raise and lower your hand. You must press *6 to unmute yourself after you receive the request from the host. Those called upon to comment will be asked to state their name and address first and then can provide their comment. In the interest of time and to ensure that you have enough time to do so, please raise your hand as soon as Mr. Stembridge reads the address into the record. Do not raise your hand before the relevant address is called, or the meeting host will not know to call on you at the appropriate time. Mr. Stembridge?
Good evening, Madam Chair, present.
Good evening. Ms. Betta-Baraza?
Good evening, Madam Chair, present.
Good evening. The floor is yours, Mr. Stembridge.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Starting off with the first hearing for 5 p.m. We have case BOA 1602850 with the address of 358 to 360 Hanover Street. If the applicant and or their representative present, would they please explain to the board?
Good afternoon. This is Attorney William Ferrullo, 28 State Street, Boston, Mass. Appearing on behalf of the applicant, which is the Prado Building LLC, the Polino family. Both Mr. and Mrs. Polino are also on this Zoom if there are any questions for them. And we will present this as soon as you are ready for us.
Please proceed.
What we have before you in this application is a proposal in the North End Hanover Street Community Commercial Zoning District where restaurant use is conditional, and the request is to expand an existing restaurant into a vacant adjacent space which has been vacant for a number of years. The proposal, we believe, satisfies all of the requirements for a conditional use permit that's been requested. And the applicant had recently purchased the property here. He's been in the restaurant business for more than 40 years and is planning the total renovation of an old restaurant that was not handicapped accessible at all to expand it to that vacant space so as to make it a fully handicap accessible restaurant, including handicap bathroom. The conditions that we believe we comply with for the conditional use is that this site is appropriate for the use, as the ground floor uses on Hanover Street tend to lean towards restaurant use. And since the restaurant use already exists in the adjacent space. Second, that this will not adversely affect the neighborhood. In fact, it'll be an improvement to a restaurant that used to use a winding old staircase to get down to the basement level, and that's been eliminated with the renovation that we propose, so that we can keep the bathroom on the first floor and make the entrance as you would see it to the left on that plan, so that it's level with the sidewalk coming in. And the third is that, needless to say, this will not be any type of a hazard either to pedestrians or vehicular traffic in the area. We have an area in the rear of the restaurant that we use for delivery and trash, so we will not interfere with anything on the sidewalk on the Hanover Street side of this restaurant. And last is that with the new renovations and everything brought up to existing code, there'll be no nuisance, needless to say, created by this expansion into the adjacent space. The renovations also will provide the adequate and appropriate facilities to operate a first-class restaurant here. And we would point out that the board has received 100 letters of support from local residents in the neighborhood. The two local neighborhood community groups, the North End Waterfront Neighborhood Council and the North End Waterfront Residents Association, have both endorsed this and supported it. And I believe those letters should be on file with you.
I'm sure, thank you. We'll hear from ONS on that, I believe. Are there any questions from the board? Hearing none.
The
Oh,
only
I'm sorry, go
question I
ahead.
have is, you have seating space in the basement, and it's not accessible, but you are providing accessible same seating spaces on the ground floor. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
there's, the ground floor has the accessible bathroom, has the accessible seating. There's no different seating in the basement than there is on the ground floor. And the bar has 2 accessible seats as well.
Okay, great. And there's no entertainment or anything different on the basement level. Okay, great. No further questions.
Thank you. With that, may I have public testimony?
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Eva Jones. I am one of the Community Engagement Specialists with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, our office would like to defer to the decision of the board. A community process was conducted for 358 to 364 Hanover Street. Although no abutters meeting was hosted, we did have them connect with the North End Waterfront Neighborhood Council, who unanimously supported the proposal. Then the North End Waterfront Residents Association, who provided a letter of non-opposition after an agreement was reached to adjust the closing hours from 2 a.m. to 12 a.m. At this time, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services would like to defer to the decision of the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ellen?
Hello, are you calling on me?
Yes.
Hi, I am a direct abutter to the back door of the restaurant. This is what I wanted to just address briefly. First of all, I voted for this project. We like to support our local businesses in both sessions of the local community groups before I understood that the garbage was going to be placed in a parking lot directly across from the front door of our condo building. Could we ask a few questions about how that garbage will be dealt with? Because it will be a significant change to a very quiet residential street. So can you ask us how the waste will be handled, including wine and beer bottles, oil and grease? Where will the barrels be placed for pickup for the commercial hauler, and how often? And how long will it be sitting there? And how will the restaurant protect us from the rats that will be drawn by this and from the noise of this constant garbage truck pickup? Please help us with this, because we're a very quiet street. It's a religious organization's parking lot. We don't understand why it's now going to be a garbage place.
Ma'am, can you just state your name and address for the record so we can?
I apologize. My name is
No.
Ellen Hume, and I live at 20 Towston Street, which is across from the place they plan to put all the garbage.
Thank you.
Okay,
Any other raised hands? Okay,
Sorry,
would the
Sarah.
applicant like to respond to that before we make
Yeah.
a
But
motion?
in that response, my understanding is that is an expansion. So if in responding, what are you doing right now with trash collection and how does expansion change, those activities?
The quick answer is this, is that the rear of the restaurant space is the property of the restaurant and leads onto what is a parking area that the Archdiocese owns. We have an agreement with the Archdiocese to not store on their property. We will have appropriate containers at the rear of the restaurant for our daily storage of trash, and that trash will be taken out to Hanover Street each evening. It will not be left on Tyleston Street, nor will it ever be in the parking area of the Archdiocese. So in the past, there used to be storage for the restaurant in that same area. And again, it's wheeled out to Hanover Street for evening pickup each evening. The area, needless to say, will be kept clean. This will be a new restaurant, so that area will be, washed every day. And again, it's the area immediately behind the rear door of the restaurant.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with the proviso that the plans be submitted to the Department of Parks and Recreation for review.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair also votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have case BOA 1603917 with the address of 55 to 59 Causeway Street. If the applicant and or their representative is present, would they please explain the case to the board?
Is the person with the W, are you speaking on behalf of this project?
Hello.
Oh, okay. Are you the applicant?
Yes, I am the applicant.
Okay, can you just state your name and address for the record?
My name is Mohammed, and the address is 55 Causeway Street, Boston 02114.
Okay, and what are you requesting?
So actually, I just got this restaurant, and I am just trying to get the license. So the restaurant is doing takeout plus dining both. So when I applied for the license, so we have to remove the provisor to do this. So I just requested for the inspection certificate. So before that, I need to remove the provisor for takeout. So 80% is dine-in and 20% is almost takeout.
Okay, and no exterior changes?
No, nothing changes. Everything is same.
Okay, questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Eva Jones. I'm one of the community engagement specialists with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, our office would like to defer to the decision of the board. A community process was conducted for 55 Causeway Street. Although no abutters meeting was hosted, we did have them connect with the West End Civic Association, where he met and introduced himself to the board, where they decided to also support Mohammed in his proposal. At this time, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services would like to defer to the decision of the board. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, we have no raised hands.
May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair also votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next, we have case BOA 1599266 with the address of 767 East Broadway. If the applicant and or their representative is present, will they please explain to the board?
Yes, my name is Josh Daigle. I'm with the Architects Studio Draw, who are working on 767 East Broadway. We are looking for relief from the side yard setbacks. We are proposing adding 2 shed dormers to the 3rd floor of the structure. And we are also extending out the rear addition while keeping its current width. The rear setback is not imposed upon. It's just the side yards, which is an existing nonconformity. As you can see here, this is the existing survey. And if we go to the next page, yep, thank you. You can see on the survey the hatch locations of the 2 shed dormers and the extended rear addition plus a proposed deck. And then, yes, we can keep going. As you can see here, there's an existing addition off of the rear currently, and all we are proposing to do is extend it out about 2 feet. And then if you go to the proposed plans of the top floor. Going. Here we are. Yep. Oh, sorry, next page. Yeah, this is the floor plan of the top floor off to the right, where you can see the extents of the new shed dormers. And I believe there are elevations also included in this package. Keep going. Scroll down. Yep, here we go. So as you can see from the top left elevation, the peak of the roof that is existing is going to be maintained, and the shed dormers will be sitting just below that. The extents of the dormers will be in line with the current sides of the house, so we're not extending them out any further. And then part of the relief too was adding the 2 fire rated windows in that shed dormer, which is over a stairwell to let light in. And that is basically the entirety of what we are asking for. The rear, actually, one more thing, the rear addition has a flat roof currently. The ceiling height is non-conforming, so we are proposing to put a new gable on top of that to have a code compliant head height and make the roof line more in character with the style of the house.
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Madam Chair, to the applicant, so the only variance you're asking for is for the side yard setback, which is a pre-existing condition.
Right. Yes, correct. And then, yeah, and then we're asking for relief to add the 2 windows into that 1 dormer. The dormer on the proposed east elevation is the only side of the house that is existing non-conforming. The other side of the house has an 8-foot setback, which meets the setback.
Understood. Any other questions from the board? May I have public testimony?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Siggy Johnson with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This petitioner has completed the ONS community process. Our office hosted a virtual abutters meeting on Monday, May 6th, at which abutters were generally supportive of the proposal. Additionally, the applicant connected with the City Point Neighborhood Association, the active civic group in this area. It's our understanding they are also in support of the proposal. Additionally, we've received 7 letters of support from area abutters. With that context, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon, Madam Chairs and members of the board. Laura Toledano here from Consul Flynn's office. At this time, Consul Flynn would like to go on record in support based on a good community process, positive feedback for neighbors, and the City Point Neighborhood Association. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge.
Yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Jessica, the person with the raised hand is the applicant. I don't know. Can he unmute himself?
Yes, I'm
Oh.
here. Hi.
Hello, can
Hi.
anyone hear me?
Um,
This is, yeah, I'm sorry, 767 East Broadway. This is the second time my hand has been raised at a meeting and I'm not being called on. So I just want to put
Madam
forth
Chair.
the support for that project. It's the type of building that we want to see in our neighborhood for families to be able to stay here. But going forward, could we please make sure that we're acknowledging hands raised? Thank you.
Thank you. Jessica, just please be aware of raised hands. I can't see them necessarily. Mr. Stenbridge?
Yes, Madam Chair. We move on to case BOA 1588821 with the address of 12 Marmion Street. If the applicant and or their representative is present, will they please explain the case to the board?
Yeah, hi, everyone. We'd like to add a addition on the back of our house. It's just a rectangular addition and it's within the existing house's side yard setbacks. Well, the existing house doesn't meet the setbacks, so but this is even less than that, so it's within the, you know, the outside of the inside of the existing house's setbacks on the side. And on the back, I think we have rear yard insufficient. It's 20 feet is what the setback is, and with the deck, it would be 13.5 feet. And basically, we just need more room. We have a growing family. We first moved into the house, there's 4 of us, then we got 5, and now we have another one coming to be 6 pretty soon. So that's the main reason for this addition, is to get more room for the family.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Hearing none, can I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. ONS held an abutters meeting. I understand abutters did not raise any concerns or inquiries. The applicant went on to meet with the JPNC on May 15th, which voted to support the project. That information will defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And at the moment, I have no raised hands.
Okay, with that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge?
Yes.
Ms. Better Brazza?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next, we have case BOA 1589188 with the address of 1362 to 1378 Dorchester Avenue. If the applicant and or their representative is present, will they explain to the board, please?
Hello,
Yes, can you state your name and address for the record?
hi, yes, my name is Bao Han Wen. I am the applicant. The address is 1362 to 1378 Dorchester Avenue in Boston. I am proposing and seeking relief from the ZBA for conditional use to operate Bond Beauty Studio at this office space. It is a permanent makeup studio that provides eyebrow microblading as well as lip wash services. So it's not body portrait tattooing. However, the two do have similar characteristics, and so they fall under the same regulation. And so I'm here today to seek conditional use from the board.
Thank you. Questions from the board?
Yes, Madam Chair. So that is the only use of the, will be the only use of the property?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, with that, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office will defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information on the community process. ONS had the applicant circulate flyers to abutters within 300 feet. We're unaware of any concerns. The applicant went on to meet with the Columbia Savin Hill Civic Group on June 3rd, and they voted to support the proposal. As I mentioned, unaware of any concerns at this time. Defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and I see no raised hands at the moment.
With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Next, we have case BOA 1603475 with the address of 400 to 412 Neponset Avenue. If the applicant and or their representative is present, will they please explain the case to the board?
Good evening. This is Wang Wen. My address is 903 VFW Parkway, but our business address is 400 Neponset Ave. Brian couldn't make it today, so I'm one of his partners. Basically, we are asking to remove the provisional and the previous owner and add include a takeout 36A. Previously, they already have that, and we just came in and took over the business without any changes to the restaurant. And they had they had a takeout, but new owner, we have to go through this process, so we're asking for relief so we can have that.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, we'd like to defer to the judgment of this board. We're unaware of any concerns and feel that there's no real operational changes here. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam
Thank
Chair,
you. Good. Thank you.
we have no raised hands at the moment. Thanks.
With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Good night.
Next, we have case BOA 1593040 with the address of 9 Moultrie Street. If the applicant and or their representative is present, would they please explain the case?
Can you unmute yourself if you're on for this case, or raise your hand? Okay, I see a hand that just popped up. 1 second. Hi, Danielle. I'm making you a panelist. If you can just press accept when that appears on your screen, and then unmute yourself again. Hi, Danielle. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Wonderful, thank you. I am one of the homeowners and the applicant for this appeal. We are requesting relief for an insufficient side yard to allow for the replacement and extension of a side deck. Part of the permit includes some additional work on the home. That includes the addition of a patio door and the installation of a sink and a toilet in a washroom. But the reason for the appeal is that we are constructing a freestanding deck at the back and alongside of the house. There is an existing side deck that is non-conforming, and that would be demolished and replaced with the side deck that will extend along the same parallel, but further towards the back of the property. So the distance
from the existing plot lines will be within 1 foot of where they are now with the side deck. We have support from the neighbor who shares that property line with us, and as well as other neighbors on our street.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Can confirm from the ONS community process, no concerns were raised by abutters that we're aware of. And the applicant went on to meet with the Melville Park Association. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, I have no raised hands at the moment.
With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
I have a second.
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza,
Yes.
chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have case BOA 156-1260. With the address of 25 Nelson Street. If the applicant and or their representative is present, they please explain.
Hi, this is Kelby Ponce of 25 Nelson Street. I applied for a curb cut for an existing driveway. And it got refused for Article 10, Section 1. So I'm seeking relief from that to be able to just extend that existing curb.
Okay. Are there questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office will defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information, the community process. ONS heard support from 2 abutters. We're unaware of any other concerns at this time. The applicant met with the Codman Square Neighborhood Association, which approved this project in May. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have no raised hands at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, with that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza,
Yes.
chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we have case BOA 159-1995 with the address of 497 to 505 Washington Street. If the applicant and or their representative is present, will they please explain to the board?
Hello, can everyone hear? Oh,
You may have 2 devices on, ma'am. We cannot hear you.
are you hearing me now? Okay, let's just leave this one. Okay, hearing me okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if this is a project for a Frite restaurant, we already have a location in Mattapan, looking to open a second location in Codman Square. So at this point, we had to go through the process of provisos removal. So that is the reasoning for us attending this meeting. So it's just going to be takeout and yeah, just seeking the removal of our provisos at this time.
Okay, any questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office will defer to the judgment of this board. Our office is unaware of any concerns, and the applicant reached out to the local civic association. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Okay. Any other raised hands?
No.
Okay, with that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza,
Yes.
chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you, everyone.
Next, we have case BOA 1578468 with the address of 15 Cornell Street. If the applicant and or their representative is present, would they please explain the case?
Hi, I'm Luke Winslow. I'm the homeowner at this address. We are proposing a project to renovate the basement. As part of that, it will result in the elimination of one off-street parking spot, which is the relief that we seek as part of this project. It is for just our own personal use, to expand the living space in the home. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, are there questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office will defer to the judgment of this board. Notices were circulated to abutters. We're unaware of any concerns at this time, and I understand that the local neighborhood association, the WVNA, declined to meet with this applicant. So with that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Okay. Is Ms. Boswick speaking on this project? Your hand is raised.
I have questions, Madam Chair.
You can ask your questions. Usually we're looking for support or opposition. So if you could couch it that way, that would be helpful.
Okay, I guess I mean, I just have some questions about the project. So, I mean, I have concerns. I wouldn't say it's opposition, but we have some concerns about parking and digging. So I guess I would ask Luke, what side of the property is he gonna dig out for the extension of the living space?
So please ask everything you want right now briefly. This is not a back and forth between applicants and residents. So just if you have anything else you want to ask, please feel free to do it right now, and then we'll turn it back to the applicant.
Okay, so I had the question about the digging. I think he said that it's only gonna be for personal use. And I guess the other question is about the parking. Where does he intend for his family his wife and him to park?
All right, thank you, ma'am.
So to that, there will be no external digging due to the fact that this does not alter the envelope of the broader structure at all. It is purely a renovation of the existing basement space. The only extent of any digging that would possibly occur, that would technically occur, is on enlarging the well space so that there are correct egress window escape paths that will be on the far side of the home. This is actually on the side as well where it is conforming, so that is not in any way a zoning issue. Finally, as to the parking, I will continue to park vehicles as a mixture of the one off-street parking spot that we currently have and that will remain, as well as on-street where there is relatively ample supply on Cornell Street.
I have a question, Madam Chair, as well. You said no digging. What is the proposed height from the basement to ceiling?
The
From floor to
proposed,
ceiling. Mhm.
yep, the proposed height is, I'd have to look on the plans again, but it's a little over 7 feet due to its relatively high currently existing for the basement height.
Okay, great. I don't have further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with a proviso that no building code relief be granted.
May I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better Brazza,
Yes.
chair also votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Next, we have case BOA 1601690 with the address of 470 Center Street. If the applicant and or their representative is present, would they please explain the case?
Raise your hand if you're on for this proposal. No, unmute yourself. See any raised hands? Moment.
Okay, so let's keep going.
Hi, my name is David Doyle, but the plan was shown by my architect and I'm not sure where he is.
Okay, do you feel comfortable to proceed without him, or do you want us to keep going and circle back and perhaps he'll join?
I was not expecting to present, but basically the project involves the addition of a rear deck on our home and an addition of a rear entrance off of that deck.
Okay, are there questions from the board?
Yeah,
Hearing
I'm just
none.
looking,
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm
sorry, go ahead.
I'm looking at the plan department's kind of feedback and recommendation, and they're saying with attention to reducing the size of the rear yard deck by at least 2'9". What's the rear yard setback to the deck currently? I can't see that little maybe I can pull up the plans just to if there's a way that we can zoom in to
Yeah,
understand
blow
what
that up,
that,
that would be great.
yeah, since your architect's not here. That's perfect. Yeah, so a little bit more. Is it like 5 feet?
Yeah, I think it's about 5
5
feet
foot
4
4?
inches.
Yeah, 5'4". Okay, I don't have any further questions. I just wanted to make sure I knew that dimension, 5'4". Thank you.
Okay, thank you. With that, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time the Mayor's Office defer to the judgment of this board. Due to personnel changes, we don't have information on the original abutters meeting, but the applicant did go on to meet with the JPNC in January of 2024, where they received support from the group. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have no raised hands at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
If-
With that, may I
can-
have a motion?
Can I have just one more follow-up clarification?
Yes.
Yeah, so David, the depth of your deck currently is at what dimension?
I'm sorry, I can't see the plan anymore and I just don't have it in front of me.
So currently the dimension is 10'5". So if we were to follow BPDA's recommendation of at least decreasing that depth to almost 7'5", is that still feasible for you?
Why would that be decreased?
Just because they would like
They'd like a minimum
greater-
of a 5-foot buffer.
they want a greater depth to the rear yard setback. So the deck, can you just, what is it used for? It's just for the second floor. What kind of activities would be there?
It's just for personal space. I own the restaurant on the first floor and we live above the restaurant on the second floor. So that's the only private space we have on the property.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval with a proviso that the rear deck be reduced by at least 2'9".
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we have case BOA 1567484 with the address of 6 Slocum Road. If the applicant and or their representative is present, would they please explain the case to the board?
Can you raise your hand if you're on for this proposal?
Karen Stewart, oh, I see her. Ms. Stewart, are you able to speak?
I'm gonna, you can unmute yourself, Ms. Stewart. Yeah, you're unmuted. Can you hear us? You're on mute.
I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you.
You have to unmute yourself. If you're on a computer, you may want to change this. Yeah, we still can't hear you, Mrs. Stewart. So if you're on a computer, you may want to look at your video audio settings on your computer.
We definitely can't hear you now, unfortunately. I don't know if it, should she try calling in, or what do you suggest, Jessica?
Yeah, that's possible. If she can call in, or if we can come back to her while we try to figure it out.
Yeah, Ms. Stewart, I hope
Mhm.
it's okay. We'll keep moving forward and we'll come back to you and hopefully it'll be resolved by then. Mr. Stenbridge?
We'll move on to case BOA 1587527 with the address of 287 to 289 Beach Street. If the applicant and or their representative is present, would they please explain to the board?
And if you're on this proposal, can you raise your hand or unmute yourself? I don't see any raised hands so far.
Okay, let's keep moving forward then.
Okay, then we'll move on to case BOA 1608760 with the address of 100 Westover Street. If the applicant and or their representative can respond, would they please
Hi.
explain to the board?
Yes, good evening. This is Tony Sarofim. I am the owner of the house. My wife is present with me, if we have any questions. So basically, the front of the house, the small awning that you see right now, it's falling apart, and also the floor, so I had to replace it. As part of the replacement, we have decided to enlarge it because a while ago, my mother-in-law was living with us and we were unable to maneuver the wheelchair correctly on the landing and on the mudroom. So we selected to start planning for future. So we're gonna increase a little bit the mudroom and increase the front, also the landing. Also, as we're doing this project, we decided to keep on the right side, on the left side, the small porches. The porches themselves are not in violation, but the landing and the entrance become in violation for the not enough front yard. I just want to first, before, sorry to continue, thank you all for what you do for us, all day, every week after week. I appreciate that.
sir.
I have a lot of appreciation for that.
Thank you, sir. Questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Siggy Johnson with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This petitioner has completed the ONS community process. In late May, we had the petitioner flyer the 300-foot radius of abutters. This round of informational flyering did not solicit any feedback to our office. Additionally, the proponent appeared at the June 18th meeting of the West Roxbury Neighborhood Council Zoning Committee, which voted to support the proposal. With that background, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Double checking. I have no raised hands at the moment. Thanks.
Okay, with that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to prefer a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge?
Yes.
Ms. Better Baraza?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next, we have case BOA 16050 7/8 with the address of 41 Redgate Road. If the applicant and their representative is present and available, would they please explain?
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Anthony Ross. I'm an attorney with my offices at 343 Belgrade Avenue in Roslindale. Also present at this hearing is Jeff Sarin, the owner occupant of 41 Redgate Road, a single-family house in West Roxbury, Ward 20. This is a simple proposal to finish approximately 595 square feet of the basement of Jeff's home in order to create 3 finished basement rooms as shown on the plans. The rooms will be used for a home gym, a home theater, TV room, and a small powder room with toilet and sink. The proposal is entirely an interior build-out with no change whatsoever to the existing exterior of the home. The new finished space in the basement will increase the FAR from 0.44 to 0.55, and excessive FAR is the only violation for which a variance is required. The ceiling height in the areas of the basement to be finished will be 9 feet, as shown on the plan, so no building code relief will be needed. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Siggy Johnson with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This petitioner has completed the ONS community process. Our office provided them with a flyer that they delivered to all abutters within 300 feet. This round of flyering did not solicit any feedback for our office. Additionally, the proponents appeared at the June meeting of the West Roxbury Neighborhood Council Zoning Committee, which voted to support the proposal. With that background, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other raised hands?
See no additional raised hands. Thank you.
All right, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
There a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, let's see if Slocum Road, if Ms. Stewart is with us. We still can't hear you, ma'am. Oh, boy. Why don't we wait a second and see if you can call in? Do you have the call-in information? Okay.
Had one following that one, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry?
We had another one,
Yes, we
287.
did. If you want to try that one again, we can, and then we'll. Oh, okay, what I'm speaking. Okay, so the other applicant is also trying to log in, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a few minutes ago, so I don't know. Are we having any luck with Ms. Stewart? Okay, any suggestions? I don't, I hate to defer this, but we might have to.
Madam Chair, can we give her about 2 minutes to call in?
If I thought she was trying to, we can't see I can't see what the paper says, ma'am. But if you can try to call in, that would be great. Does she have the call-in number?
Yeah, ma'am, I can put the call-in information in the chat.
Okay.
Take it from there.
Because we know she's here, so we would like to hear the case. Was someone putting in the call number for her?
I believe Jessica was.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It got sent to Stephanie by accident directly. Hold on, let me send it, make sure she sees it. Mrs. Stewart, I put the number in the access code in the chat, so if you can jump on your phone and call in, we can help you, but we still cannot hear you. But if you could take a minute to just try calling us and using that access code, that will prompt you to jump on by phone and then we can unmute you. And then do we want to go to Arujo? I saw Stephanie say that the person for Beach Street is under Arujo.
If they're ready, then yes, we could go to that and come back to Ms. Stewart.
Okay. I sent a request to make you a panelist, so, but in the meantime, Mrs. Stewart, if you still want to try to jump on, you can type in that access code and then press pound and we'll get you on the line.
Okay, so are we going to Beach Street? Have you identified the person to speak, Jessica?
Yep, I made them a panelist.
Okay. Mr. Stenbridge? I don't know if you need to reread it.
Once again, case BOA 1587527 with the address of 287 to 289 Beach Street. And we'll hope that the applicant can get through.
Okay, is the applicant for Beach Street on?
Yes. Can you unmute yourself? I sent a request to unmute you, but you have to do it on your own. I can't unmute you. Oh, okay, you are unmuted actually. Can you hear us? Because we cannot hear you.
Yes, you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. I'm not make sure that my camera work or not. Confused.
Okay, can you just identify yourself and your address and please proceed?
My name is Davison. Contractor, the Warner, the 207 Beach Street, Rosendale, Massachusetts.
Okay, can you proceed with what you're proposing and what you're requesting?
The plan, the prescription, the job, existing two-family. The Warner, I need to finish basement existing. I'm not additional size, additional space, not existing space. Just make sure about the stairs. I have 2 stairs in out. Finish the normal laminate floor, office, small office, because I have the daycare in the 2nd floor. You put the office in the basement.
Okay, are there questions from the board?
Are these offices or habitable bedrooms? Because you have offices.
No, just officers, because the owner work in the bank. The wife have the daycare in the 2nd floor. I need a space for officer for both. The daughter and college. I need to finish the basement for officers. Small kitchen, not have the stove, just cabinet, sink, bathroom.
Yeah, but you're proposing closets, like closets for wardrobe in
Yeah, I
these two
put the
in these two
shelves.
spaces. And your use, it's stating that the use which you want a dwelling unit in the basement, but where you actually are proposing is office use.
Yes.
So it
I
looks like
include
it looks like there might be an error on the use of what you were cited for the violation. Is Caroline here? Maybe she can provide
I'm
some
here.
insight.
Hold on, give me 1 minute.
So the violation is for forbidden use for a dwelling unit, but it seems like the use is actually more of an office use.
So to the applicant, so what is this currently being used as? The
I
building,
use the space for officers, to office.
2 offices?
Yes, the entertainment room. Have the laundry because
Yeah,
the
so
two
I would almost recommend a motion to defer and to connect with ISD and to see whether the citation needs to be corrected to office use versus dwelling units. But Caroline, if you can please provide some feedback on that.
Yeah, so currently, I mean, we're looking at it and it's what you're saying. It was cited for the forbidden use, but the planning context describes it as office space. Perhaps you would be willing to defer this until Tuesday so I can get clarification from.
From ISD, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too, and I can see why there was the error because it's being drawn as if these are habitable rooms, and then the planning department begins to discuss light and air issues. That's assuming if they were going to be habitable spaces. So I'd like to make that recommendation to the members.
All right, so can you make a formal motion, Ms.
Yeah,
Becker?
so I like to make a recommendation of a motion to defer so that Caroline can provide some clarity with ISD in the citation.
Can I have a second?
Second,
Mr. Stenbridge,
yes.
Ms. Better-Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Okay, Ms. Stewart, hopefully we can hear you now.
Can you press *3 to unmute yourself, Ms. Stewart, from the phone?
We still can't hear you.
Okay.
Is that you?
I apologize. That's me. Yes.
We can
Okay,
hear
so
you
can
now.
can you mute your computer because we have an echo right now?
Yeah. Okay, that should be better.
Perfect, thank you,
Can you
ma'am.
hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I apologize. I've undone something, but for some reason the audio just keeps coming up.
No worries.
that
This
it won't
technology is
come
a
out.
blessing and a curse, so no problem.
I've waited a while for this, so anyway, so I'm seeking relief right now because for rear yard insufficiency. Right now, there is a structure, as you can see, kind of in a shaded dark area. And right now the structure is a total of 468 square feet or 39 feet by 12 feet. And what I'd like to do is to take that down so it's not going to extend towards the side of the house and redo the whole structure. It doesn't have a complete foundation on it. It's just a dirt foundation. So now it's causing water to get into the other part of the house. So I want to rebuild to a 44.2 2.25 feet by 16 feet, which is a difference of 239 square feet. But the, right now, what it'll be doing is crossing the setback by 8 feet, 2 inches. And right now, the setback to the property is 40 feet.
Sorry. Questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office will defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information, the community process and a butters meeting was had. There were some inquiries on the timeframe of the construction and one neighbor expressing a concern regarding the rear fence, but I believe that was resolved. The applicant went on to meet with the Jamaica Hills Association on May 13th and then on to the JPNC on June 5th. Both were in support of this proposal. That will defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Any
we
other-
have no raised hands at the moment. Sorry, thanks.
With that, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I'd like to put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Better Brazza.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
All right, good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye. Night.